The forbidden touchdown Jack never planned to land on Exiled Prime. His ship, the Stellar Pathfinder, was flying through Sector 9 when a sudden energy storm hit. Red lightning cracked across the stars, his systems screamed, and then everything went black. When he woke up, smoke filled the cockpit. Alarms blinked and the ground outside was glowing. Green mist floated over black soil. The planet was not on any travel route. It was marked as banned in every galactic chart. No one came back from Exiled Prime, but Jack was alive. Somehow. He crawled out of the wrecked pod. The air smelled like burnt metal and strange flowers. Above him, the sky was purple. Two suns hovered low, casting twisted shadows across the forest of black trees. The leaves shimmered like silver in the wind, but there was no wind. Everything felt wrong. Jack grabbed his emergency bag and scanned the area. The trees didn't just stand. They leaned toward him, as if listening. His scanner glitched, then shut off. Great, he muttered. Crashed on a ghost planet. As he walked, the forest made no sound. No birds, no insects, only the soft crunch of his boots on the soil. Then, a whisper. Not from behind him, not from the trees, from inside his head. Jack. He froze. Drew. His plasma knife. Who's there? No answer. Just the wind now, finally rising, cold and sudden. He kept walking until he found ruins. Tall stones, broken pillars, and glowing symbols lined the clearing. Some of the carvings moved when he looked away. He stepped forward. Something heavy moved through the trees behind him. The ground shook once, then again. Jack turned. A giant figure stepped into the light. She was tall, almost 3 meters. Her skin shimmered dark blue and her eyes glowed silver. Armor made from crystal and bone wrapped around her body. She had no weapons in hand, but power radiated from her like heat. Jack held up his knife. You don't belong here, the giant woman said. Her voice was deep and smooth. Yeah, well, Jack said. Didn't exactly mean to crash into your haunted jungle. She studied him. You are human. He nodded. And you are... She stepped closer. The ground seemed to breathe beneath her feet. I am Queen Ajara, exiled ruler of Exiled Prime. Jack blinked. A queen? She looked past him, at the smoking wreck of his ship. Then she looked back. You survived the landing. No one has in over 100 years. Lucky me. Ajara tilted her head. No, not luck. Fate. Before Jack could speak again, she knelt. The jungle hushed. The sky dimmed. She lowered her head and said, I offer you a deal, a throne and a marriage. Jack nearly dropped his knife. Wait. What? She looked up. Her silver eyes locked on his. You are the one this world has waited for. The queen in exile. Jack stared at the giant woman kneeling before him. A deal. A throne. And... marriage? Did you hit your head on something? He asked, still gripping his plasma knife. Queen Ajara stood slowly, her silver eyes glowing, brighter in the mist. You don't understand yet, but you will. This world speaks, and it chose you. I didn't come here on purpose, Jack said. My ship crashed. And yet, you are alive, she replied, her voice calm but firm. The last 17 that fell from the sky. They did not survive the first hour. Jack looked around. The jungle seemed to shift again. The trees leaned, almost as if listening. You really expect me to believe a planet wants me to rule it? Ajara turned. Follow me. Jack hesitated, then sighed. Fine. But no weird rituals or forced marriages, okay? You have, my word, Ajara said without turning back. But keep your weapon close, we are not alone. They moved through the jungle. Her steps were silent. Jack struggled to keep up. The forest grew stranger with every step. Glowing roots moved out of their path. Flowers turned to follow them, and shadows twisted like they were alive. Finally, they reached an ancient gate made of black stone and covered in silver vines. Two large statues stood beside it, both shaped like armored giants. One looked exactly like Ajara. She raised her hand, and the vines peeled away like they obeyed her. "What is this place?" Jack asked. "My old palace," Ajara said. "Long buried, forgotten by time. Only the planet and I remember." They entered a massive hall. The ceiling reached up like a cathedral, cracked and open to the sky. Glowing crystals lit the room. Old alien machines lined the walls, dead and dusty. "You were really a queen?" Jack asked, slowly taking in the space. Ajara nodded. "I was crowned by the world itself. Xerath is not just a planet. It is a living, thinking being. Its core beats like a heart. When I ruled, it listened to me. And now, it listens to you too," she said quietly. "That is why I made my offer. Not because I desire a king, but because the world chose you." Jack shook his head. "This is insane." Before she could respond, a loud growl echoed through the chamber. Stone cracked somewhere above. "We're not alone," Jack whispered. Beast dropped from the ceiling, huge, four-legged, made of vines, bark, and glowing red eyes. Its body looked like moving wood and iron, fused together by energy. "Move!" Ajara shouted. The creature leapt. Jack rolled and hit the ground hard. The beast swiped with claws that tore into the stone. Ajara summoned a glowing weapon from her gauntlet, a double-bladed spear made of energy and crystal. She struck the beast's leg, forcing it back. "Jack, your blade!" "It's not going to do much against that thing. Then aim for its core," she yelled. Jack spotted a pulsing red glow under the beast's chest. He ran, slid under the creature's body, and jammed his plasma knife straight into the core. The beast roared. Then it exploded in a blast of fire and smoke. Jack coughed and rolled out of the way as the broken parts scattered across the floor. "You fight well," Ajara said, standing over him. "Yeah, well, I don't like being a snack." They stood, in silence for a moment. Jack looked around. The beast had carved marks into the wall, symbols glowing in red. Ajara stepped forward and read them. Her face darkened. "What is it?" Jack asked. "A message," she said quietly. "Someone sent that thing. They know you're here." "Who?" "The others. Those who betrayed me. Those who exiled me. They watched from afar. They knew the moment your ship broke orbit." Jack's stomach turned. "So, I'm not just crash-landed. I'm now a target." "Yes, but you are also something more." "Oh, let me guess," Jack said. "Chosen one." Ajara didn't laugh. She walked to the far end of the hall and opened a sealed chamber. Inside, a pulsing sphere floated above a platform. Pure light and sound wrapped in energy. "This is the heart of Xerath," she said. "It powers everything. It connects to the planet's thoughts. It only opens when it senses someone worthy." "And?" Ajara looked at Jack. "It opened when you arrived." Jack took a step closer. The sphere pulsed faster, like a heartbeat. His chest felt warm. The energy flowed through him like wind. "What does it mean?" he asked. "It means," Ajara said, "that your fate and mine are now tied. If you stay, we can take back this world, rebuild it, protect it. And if I leave, then this planet will fall into enemy hands, and everything I once ruled will die." Jack stared at the heart. It pulsed with strange beauty. Like it was alive. "So," he said slowly, "this deal of yours, it still includes that marriage part?" Ajara gave a small smile for the first time. "Only if you agree. But the world has already said yes." A crown of thorns and steel. Jack couldn't sleep. He sat near the glowing heart of Xerath, watching it pulse in the dark. The sphere floated above its pedestal like a breathing sun. It had responded to him, chosen him. But why? Nearby, Queen Ajara stood silently, watching the ruins of her once great throne room. The broken pillars, cracked stone, and overgrown roots told a story of betrayal and loss. Jack finally spoke. "You said you were betrayed. Who did this to you?" Ajara didn't turn. Her voice came soft but heavy. My sister. Her name is Nalith. Younger than me, stronger in battle, but blinded by ambition. She wanted the throne. She wanted power, Azura said. But not to protect this world, she wanted to sell it. To offer Zirath to the highest bidder among the galactic warlords. And when I refused, she led a rebellion. Jack leaned forward. So she forced you into exile? She could not kill me. The world would not allow it. But the Council. They feared our war would spread. So they banned this planet, locked it away with lies. I was left here, with nothing but ruins. And memories, Jack stood. And now I'm here, and the planet reacts to me. Yes, she said. The heart has bonded with you. Something I did not expect. Jack walked closer to her. You said you want to reclaim the world. How? With you, she said, finally turning to face him. Not just as a symbol, but as a partner. I can awaken the defenses hidden beneath this world, but only with your help. So what do we do first? Jack asked. Before Azura could answer, the walls trembled. The floor shook beneath their feet. Earthquake? Jack asked. No, she whispered. Intruders. A loud screech echoed from the hallway beyond. Stone doors exploded inward as a group of armored beings rushed in, tall, cloaked, and armed with jagged energy blades. They didn't speak. They just attacked. Jack ducked as a blade sliced over his head. Azura roared and summoned her spear, striking down two of the attackers in a blink. Jack used his plasma knife and grabbed a fallen blade. It felt wrong, cold and heavy, but he fought back. The battle was fast and brutal. Jack barely held his ground. These weren't mindless beasts like before. These were trained killers. One of them pinned Jack to the ground, blade at his throat. You are the false king, the attacker hissed. His voice was sharp, almost mechanical. She lied to you. You are a tool. Before Jack could answer, a spear shot through the attacker's back. Azura. She pulled Jack up. Are you hurt? Just confused, Jack said. Who were those? Guys, Azura kneeled beside a fallen attacker. She pulled back the hood. Underneath was not a person, but a machine. Part organic, part metal. Warlord tech, she said. Nalith has made deals. So your sister knows I'm here? Yes, and now she will come herself. They buried the bodies in the jungle. Jack noticed the vines quickly covering the graves as if the world wanted to forget the battle. Later that night, Azura led Jack to a hidden chamber under the ruins. It opened only when Jack touched the wall. Inside was a long, narrow room with floating crystals and dark glass walls. Strange lights blinked in patterns Jack couldn't understand. This is the crown chamber, Azura said. It was sealed when I lost my throne. In the center was a ring of floating metal pieces, shards of an ancient crown. They hovered in the air, unmoving. Zirath's crown, she said. Not made of gold, but of living metal. It responds to thought, to emotion, to connection with the world's heart. Jack stepped closer. The shards moved, slowly at first, then faster. One flew to his hand and glowed. It reacts to you, Azura said. You are becoming part of the planet. Jack frowned. I didn't ask for this. Nor did I, she replied. But destiny rarely asks permission. Then the room darkened. A cold wind blew from nowhere. A voice spoke from the air. I see you've found your pet, sister. Jack spun around. The image of another giant woman appeared in the center of the room. Taller, sharper, wearing dark armor with red light in her eyes. Nalith, Azura said coldly. You always needed a crutch. Nalith sneered. First the planet, now a human boy? Jack stepped forward. You're spying on us? No, she replied. I'm warning you, that crown belongs to no one now. I will take it back, and your pet will die screaming. The image vanished. The chamber fell silent. Azura looked at Jack. She's coming. With more than just soldiers, she's bringing war. Jack looked down at the glowing shard in his hand. It pulsed in time with the heart of Zirath. Then we need to prepare, he said. Because if she wants a war, I'll give her one. The rival Queen Night fell like a curtain of ash over Zerath Prime. The stars above seemed distant, colder, now, as if they were watching something dangerous unfold below. Jack stood on the edge of the ruined palace, staring into the jungle. Deep in the distance, flashes of red light pulsed like a heartbeat. He knew what they meant. Nalith was coming. Behind him, Queen Azura moved quietly, preparing for war. She won't wait long, Jack said, gripping the shard of the ancient, crown still pulsing in his hand. She doesn't need to, Azura replied. She's faster, stronger, and now she has off-world tech. How do we stop someone who broke the Council's rules and lives with warlords? Azura looked at him, her silver eyes full of fire. We don't fight her head-on, not yet. We make her believe we are weaker, then we strike where it hurts. Her pride, her control. They moved underground, deeper into the fortress tunnels. Azura led him to a sealed gate hidden beneath a false wall. What's behind this? Jack asked. A secret chamber, she said. My final weapon. The Dakwar opened with a soft hiss. Inside, the walls were lined with pods. Dozens of them. Inside each pod floated a giant alien warrior in stasis. They looked like Azura, but older, stronger. Each wore battle armor etched with glowing glyphs. They're alive? Jack asked, stepping closer. Yes, Azura said. The last of the Titan Guard. They swore loyalty to the world, not to the throne. When Nalith rose, they refused to choose sides, so she hunted them. I hid them here. Why not wake them before? The crown wasn't whole, she answered. They respond only to its signal, to the one it accepts. Jack looked at the shard in his hand. Then he understood. You want me to activate them? No, she said. They want you to. He stepped into the room. As he passed the first row of pods, the crown shard glowed brighter. The heart of Zerath pulsed through his body. One by one, the warriors opened their eyes. No words. Just slow, powerful movements as the pods opened. The room filled with steam and a rising hum. The Titan stepped out, kneeling before Jack. This is insane, he whispered. Azura smiled. This is legacy. Suddenly the ground shook, violently. Dust fell from the ceiling. Then came the sound. Low, rumbling, growing louder. A voice echoed from the jungle, projected by massive sonic towers. This is Queen Nalith of Zerath Prime. I have returned to take what is mine. Surrender, Azura. Surrender the outsider, or I will burn your fortress to the roots. Jack and Azura ran to the upper level. From the palace roof they saw it. A massive army of war machines hovering gunships and monstrous walkers marching through the trees. The jungle itself was retreating from the metal. Nalith walked at the front, armor of obsidian and flame. Beside her were warlords from different galaxies, some wearing breathing masks, others with glowing implants. She brought an entire invasion force, Jack muttered. She's not just here to win, Azura said. She's here to erase me. Small ship detached from the enemy formation and landed in the ruins near the fortress wall. A glowing circle appeared in the air. Nalith stepped through the portal, standing alone. Parley, Azura said. Dangerous, Jack replied. Still tradition, she said. She wants to gloat before she strikes. Azura walked forward. Jack followed. They met Nalith in the courtyard under the broken pillars of what once was the throne hall. Nalith looked at Jack first. So this is the outsider, she said. He looks fragile. Jack held her stare. I'm still alive. That's already more than most. For now, she replied coldly, then turned to her sister. You always loved playing with fate. Better than selling it, Azura replied. You were weak, Azura, Nalith said. You hid in ruins. You begged the planet to save you. I forged my path with power. And betrayed our blood, Azura said. Power doesn't care about blood, Nalith whispered. It only follows strength. Then why are you here? Jack asked. If you're so powerful, why not destroy us already? Nalith smiled. Because I wanted to see the fear in your eyes, And because she leaned in closer, I wanted to offer you a choice. Me? Jack asked. Yes, she said. Leave her. Come with me. Help me unlock the rest of the crown. Rule beside a true queen. I can make you more than a king. I can make you a god. Jack looked between the sisters. The moment was heavy, silent. Then he stepped back beside Ajara. No thanks, he said. I prefer queens who don't kill their people. Nalith's smile vanished. Then you've chosen death. She turned, walked through the portal, and vanished. The air shook. Seconds later, the first missile struck the palace wall. Jack and Ajara were thrown back. Fire rose from the lower towers. Alarms screamed. The ground cracked. The war had begun. The war beneath the skyfire rained from the sky. Jack pulled Ajara behind a collapsed wall as another missile struck the upper dome of the ancient palace. Glowing debris fell like meteors. Screams echoed in the halls as Ajara's loyal machines scrambled to defend the fortress. Nalith's invasion had begun. They're hitting every tower, Jack said, coughing from the smoke. She's testing our defenses, Ajara replied, her voice steady, even as stone cracked above them. She wants to see how much I've rebuilt. How much have you rebuilt? Not enough. Jack tapped his wrist console, still damaged but functional. He linked into the palace's energy grid, just barely. Signals were weak, but enough to activate the Titan guards who had sworn to protect the heart of Zirath. The living warriors, awakened earlier, now lined up in the halls, preparing for battle. Their eyes glowed with golden fire. Open the underground gate, Jack ordered through the console. We launch a counterattack from below. Catch them off guard. That's bold, Ajara said. Yeah, well, so is dying under a collapsing palace. The lower gate opened into the jungle's root systems, massive tunnels carved by time, now pulsing with the energy of Zerath's core. Jack led the Titan guard through the hidden passage. He moved like someone born on this world. Now, every step the ground seemed to support him. Vines cleared his path. Stone bent slightly beneath his feet. The planet wasn't just alive, it was helping him. They emerged near Nalith's forward camp. Towers of black steel rose high, guarded by drones and metallic beasts. Strike fast, Jack said. Hit the command spire first. The Titans moved like silent giants. The moment they attacked, the jungle exploded into chaos. Jack hacked a drone with his plasma tool and used its interface to scramble a group of enemy turrets. Alarms blared. Enemy soldiers panicked. One of the warlords, a tall, bone-covered alien with 6 arms, roared orders. He turned toward Jack. Human filth. Jack shot a pulse blast into his face. Back at the palace, Ajara stood inside the throne chamber with the heart of Zerath glowing behind her. She placed both hands on the sphere. Her voice rang through the halls. Children of Zerath, your queen calls. The machines in the walls came to life. Old warbots hidden for centuries began to hum and rise from the dust. Their armor creaked, their eyes lit up. The palace itself was awakening. Defend your world, Ajara commanded. Outside, massive stone creatures rose from the jungle floor. Half-organic titans formed from rock, roots, and ancient tech. The planet had buried them long ago. Now they returned. Jack's attack on the forward camp worked. Fires spread. Nalith's lower commanders retreated. But then, a massive explosion sent Jack flying. He hit a tree hard and blacked out for a few seconds. When he opened his eyes, she was standing over him. Queen Nalith. No armor, just a cloak of shadow and glowing veins in her arms. Impressive, she said. You command the jungle like you were born from it. Jack coughed. Must be my green thumb. She knelt beside him. My offer still stands. Join me. Rule beside me. This world is a weapon waiting to be used. You want to use Zerath, not protect it. Power is not protection, it is domination. Jack reached for his blade, but Nalith grabbed his wrist. In that instant, Jack felt something. Her mind, her hunger. She didn't just want the crown. She wanted to merge with Xerath and turn it into a weapon that could destroy star systems. He pushed her back with a pulse burst. "You're insane." Nalith stood, eyes glowing. "You'll regret this." Suddenly, a scream tore through the jungle. Ajara's voice. Jack's console blinked. "Message from the palace." She breached the core chamber. "She's inside." Jack ran. Inside the fortress, Ajara faced Nalith again, but this time near the heart of Xerath. Nalith had used a back channel, teleporting inside while the palace defended itself. Clever. "This ends now, sister," Nalith said. "Step aside." "Never." Nalith raised her hand and the air bent. A wave of dark energy shot forward. Ajara blocked it with her spear, but the force pushed her back, slamming her into a pillar. The heart of Xerath pulsed. Angry now. "This world doesn't want you," Ajara said, blood on her lips. "It doesn't matter what it wants," Nalith replied. "It only matters what I take." She reached for the heart. Then the door burst open. Jack flew through the smoke, landing between Nalith and the heart. The crown shard in his hand flared like a star. "Step away," he said. Nalith laughed. "You think you can stop me?" "No," Jack said, stepping forward. "But we can." The ground trembled. Light flowed from the heart into Jack's body. The crown pieces in the chamber began to float and swirl around him. Ajara's eyes widened. "It's choosing you. Fully." The crown formed above Jack's head, hovering, glowing. Not a symbol of power, but a connection. The world itself had made its decision. Nalith screamed and lunged forward. Jack raised his hand, and the vines of Xerath shot up from the ground, wrapping around Nalith like chains. The palace roared. The heart pulsed. Nalith struggled, but the vines held tight. "You will never win," she hissed. "I already did," Jack whispered. "Because I didn't want the crown. I earned it." The vines dragged Nalith into the lower abyss of the fortress, sealed by the planet itself. Silence followed. Outside, the war ended. Nalith's forces fled. The jungle swallowed their machines. Ajara, bloodied but standing, walked to Jack. "You saved my world," she said. "Our world," Jack corrected. And the crown, now resting on his head, glowed in agreement. The deal beyond the stars. The war was over. Nalith was gone, sealed in the deep roots of Xerath where the planet would keep her caged for eternity. But peace never lasted long, especially when the galaxy was watching. 3 days after the final battle, the skies above Xerath filled with ships. Not enemy warlords this time. These were sleek, silver vessels, marked with the seal of the Galactic Council. "They responded fast," Jack muttered, watching from the palace tower. "They were always watching," Ajara replied. "They just waited to see who won." A loud voice echoed from orbit, translated and projected to the surface. "This is Ambassador Sarn of the Galactic Council. Human citizen Jack Ryder, you are ordered to surrender yourself immediately. Queen Ajara, you are considered a rogue sovereign. Refusal to comply will be seen as an act of war. And there goes our quiet celebration," Jack said. Ajara's face was calm, but her eyes narrowed. They never wanted a ruler here, especially not a human bonded with the planet. "They think I'm a threat?" "You are," she said. "But not in the way they believe. You represent change, unity, choice, things they fear more than war." Jack turned to face her. "Then let's give them a reason to listen." Hours later, Jack stood on a wide platform built from Xerath's living stone. Behind him stood Ajara, the Titan guards and emissaries from nearby systems who had come to witness the truth. Above hovered a council dropship preparing to land. The platform was quiet as 3 figures descended from the ship. Tall, cold-eyed ambassadors wrapped in golden robes. One of them was Sarn. "Jack Ryder," Sarn said, voice sharp. "You are accused of violating a galactic ban, unauthorized contact with a forbidden world, interference with native leadership, and forming an illegal power bond with a classified planet core entity." Jack crossed his arms. "Funny," You didn't complain when warlords were stealing technology from this world, or when Nalith nearly destroyed it. We didn't intervene, because no side was officially recognized. So now that I won, you want to erase me? Sarn didn't blink. You are not qualified to hold planetary leadership. Humans are not native here. Jack stepped closer. I didn't take leadership. The planet gave it to me. He raised his hand and the ground beneath him glowed. Vines twisted upward, not to attack but to bloom. Flowers formed beneath his feet, glowing in the council's colors. Zareth chose, Jack said, not for war, but for peace. We don't care about symbolism, Sarn said. We care about control. Ajara stepped forward. Then perhaps it's time you heard our offer. Sarn narrowed his eyes. Offer? Inside the great chamber, Jack and Ajara stood before the council delegation. Zerath is not claiming independence, Ajara said. We are offering neutrality, a sovereign zone open to all species for healing, trade, and research, protected by the will of the planet and those it chooses. You want to form a neutral core world? Sarn asked. Yes, Jack said, with joint council presence, monitored by galactic law, and ruled not by blood or conquest, but by bond. Sarn's lips twitched. And who sits on this throne? Jack and Ajara exchanged a look. We both do, she said. A human and a giant queen ruling together? The third ambassador sneered. The council will never approve. Jack leaned forward. Then send this message. If you try to take this world by force, the planet will resist. And this time, it won't stop. At defense. He placed his hand on the ground. A low hum filled the air. The walls pulsed. The vines surrounding the council room shimmered. And for one terrifying moment, the ambassadors felt the weight of Zerath's ancient intelligence watching them. Sarn swallowed. You would threaten the council? No, Jack said. I'm offering peace. But you have to accept that times have changed. The ambassadors left. The following hours were tense. No messages, no missiles, just silence above. Then, on the fourth night, a signal returned. Neutral zone status approved. Under observation. Zerath will be monitored. No further interference unless treaty terms are broken. Ajara exhaled slowly. We did it. Not yet, Jack said. We just bought time. A week later, celebrations filled the forest. Not wild parties, but quiet gatherings. Species who once feared the planet now walked its glowing paths. Broken machines were repurposed. Children from different systems played in the jungle without fear. Jack stood beside Ajara on the new stone platform. A ceremony was about to begin. You sure you're ready for this? She asked. Ready as I'll ever be, Jack replied, straightening his new ceremonial jacket, woven with fibers grown from Zerath itself. You still have a chance to run, she joked. Jack laughed. Not a chance, you'd hunt me down anyway. True, she smiled. The crowd quieted. The heart of Zerath pulsed behind them. The crown formed above their heads again, spinning and glowing. A voice from the planet itself echoed, not in words, but in feeling. Unity. Balance. Bond. Jack took Ajara's hand. The ceremony was not just a wedding. It was a declaration. Two beings from different worlds ruling together, not for conquest but for harmony. As the crown settled above them, the jungle bloomed. But far above, beyond the neutral zone, dark ships gathered in the cold edge of space. And in a secret council chamber, masked leaders watched Zerath's rise with growing unease. The human grows stronger, one said. The planet is adapting, said another. If they awaken the true core beneath, a third whispered, we may not be able to stop them. Far below on Zerath, Jack felt a chill in his bones. The planet, for the first time in days, whispered a warning. They are watching, and they are coming. The king of the banned world, the winds of Zerath blew softly through the golden jungle. Vines glowed in soft patterns along the ancient palace walls. The planet was quiet, breathing in peace for the first time in centuries. But Jack couldn't rest. He stood at the cliff edge, overlooking the Valley of Roots. A sacred place, said, to be where the world first woke up. Even now, after the war, the treaty, and the ceremony, something inside him still stirred. A feeling deep in his chest. A whisper, at the edge of thought. Ajara joined him. You feel it too, don't you? She asked. Jack nodded. The planet's changing. No. Something beneath it is waking up. 3 nights later, the ground shook. Not like before, not from battle or machines. This was different. A deep, ancient rumble rolled through the roots of the world. The animals ran. The glowing trees dimmed, and the heart of Zerath, always steady, always calm, began to flicker. Ajara summoned her. Guards. Jack summoned the crown. What's happening? He asked, placing his palm on the palace floor. No answer, only a vision. His eyes went white. He saw it, deep below the world's crust, something massive, sleeping, alive, older than any species in the galaxy. Not a machine, not a god, not a monster. A core intelligence. Zerath's true mind. Sealed long ago by the ancients who built this world. A backup soul of the planet, meant to rise only when all else failed. And now it stirred, because Jack had awakened more than just power. He had awakened its curiosity. When he opened his eyes, Ajara was holding him. Her face was pale. What did you see? It's not just a living world, Jack said. It's a layered intelligence. The heart we knew was only the surface. And what lies beneath? Jack looked toward the valley. It wants to speak. They traveled with a small team. Just Ajara, Jack, and 2 Titan guards. No drones, no weapons, just instinct and ancient tech. The valley opened wide like a scar in the jungle. Giant stone slabs jutted out of the earth, each covered in unknown glyphs. Lightning arced between the stones, without clouds, without storm. Jack stepped forward. The crown above his head began to spin faster. A low tone filled the air. Then the earth split open. A spiral staircase formed, descending into darkness. Ajara gripped his hand. You don't have to go alone. Jack smiled. I wouldn't dream of it. They went together. Miles beneath the surface, they entered a world untouched by time. This was not stone and root. This was crystal and code. A city of light and thought, built by beings who no longer existed. Machines hummed. Giant orbs floated in midair, showing scenes from forgotten wars, alien species long extinct, and maps of galaxies that had changed over millennia. In the center, a throne of light hovered above a pool of black liquid. Jack approached. What is this? A voice filled the chamber. Not male, not female, not human, not alien. Just there. You are not the first to wear the crown. Jack froze. Then, what happened to the others? They failed. Ajara stepped forward. Why show yourself now? Because for the first time, he does not seek power. He seeks connection. The black liquid rose and formed a shape. Jack's face. A perfect mirror. You have bonded with the upper layers of this world, but I am the root, the prime source, the will of Zerath. Jack's hand shook. Then what do you want from me? A decision. The chamber shifted. Suddenly images surrounded them. Earth under siege. Alien cities burning. Warlords regrouping. Even the Galactic Council arguing among themselves. Peace is an illusion, the voice said. They fear you. And they will return. So you want me to strike first? Jack asked. I want you to choose what Zerath will become. A refuge or a weapon. The crown spun faster, pulsing with energy. If you accept my full power, the voice said, you will become more than a king, more than a guardian. You will become the will of this world. But it will change you. Forever. Jack looked at Ajara. If you do this, she said softly, You may not be fully you anymore. But if I don't, Jack said, we might lose everything we've built. He turned to the throne of light. The decision pulsed in the air. Power or peace. Jack closed his eyes, then stepped forward. I accept, he said. The light engulfed him. His scream echoed through the chamber, but it was not pain. It was expansion. His thoughts stretched, fused with the roots of the world. He felt the storms above, the rivers below, every breath of wind, every flicker of starlight. He was still Jack, but now, he was Xerath too. When he awoke, the crown had vanished. His eyes glowed like the heart of the world. He turned to Azura. She looked at him unsure. Are you still you? She whispered. Jack smiled. I am more me than ever. Above, the skies shimmered with a new signal. Broadcast to the galaxy. Xerath is no longer a forbidden world. It is a sanctuary, a stronghold, and a voice. Any who seek peace may come. Any who seek war will be judged. Ships that had been hiding in orbit fled. And across the stars, people whispered a new name. The king of the banned world. Not a ruler by birth. Not a tyrant by force, but a man who crashed on a cursed planet and became its soul.